Hey folks, welcome back. Today we celebrate Slugscape hitting the 2,000 subscriber milestone. Thank you everyone for supporting the channel as much as you have. I ventured into the HeroScape corner of YouTube relatively recently, and to see such growth in such a short time, well, it's humbling to say the least. That being said, I must admit that I feel a bit of imposter syndrome here. Even though I was prepared and expected to enter this scene with less than 100 subscribers, just like the old days of my first channel, instead I had quite the golden parachute coming in. And that makes a milestone like this, in such a niche hobby, feel somewhat unearned. I'm sometimes reminded of Canadian philosopher Marshall McLuhan's quote, "The medium is the message." I think this has significant relevance to the videos that I make on YouTube. They're scripted, they're structured, they feature bespoke photography and music, they take anywhere from 30 to 60 hours each to make, and I think they can make me seem more professional than I actually am. I don't want to come off as an expert on HeroScape in the slightest. I have played the game longer than most, but at the end of the day, I'm just a slug on the internet. My opinion is no more important than any other, despite what my efforts in video editing would have you believe. So, to somewhat correct for this unwarranted popularity, I want to direct your attention to other HeroScape creators who've been grinding this out far longer than I have. In effect, thank you for the support, but these folks deserve it more. Firstly, if you aren't already aware of Sir HeroScape, then you need to be. He's been making HeroScape videos for years, and might be the sole HeroScape only channel bigger than my own. Aside from power rankings and fast-paced gameplay videos, he also covers HeroScape news in a much more timely manner than I. One of my all-time favorite videos of Sir HeroScape's is his coverage of the untimely failure of the Avalon Hill HasLab campaign, and a recounting of the problems that it faced. I'll link it in the video description below. Another channel that I love to watch is the husband-wife duo of Valhalla. Hosted by Adam and Rowan, no one has a better setup for recording live game playthroughs. If you want to see fun, casual HeroScape gameplay with comedy sprinkled throughout, then look no further. Stop motion animation is a medium I sometimes explore, but no one incorporates it better into the world of HeroScape than Tales of Valhalla. Beyond their impressive animations, they host panel discussions on the world of Scape. Recently, they did a great one on the new Renegade Con reveals with some of the folks who worked on those projects. I highly recommend it. Rye Guy Plays Games is a channel focused on competitive HeroScape and often reports on events that impact the game. Their series, called Stratagems, is one of my favorites and well worth a listen for their insight on what the game looks like in the higher echelons of play. Additionally, Casters of Valhalla is the place to go to hear from some of the best competitive players to ever engage with this hobby. I've shouted them out before on this channel, but they're still worth the listen. Doggin Days is perhaps the Slugger match made in heaven when it comes to pedantic or overbloated scripts, and I don't mean that discouragingly. If such a thing as long-form HeroScape content exists, then Doggin Days is the channel where you'll find it. I recommend starting with their ranking of the Rise of the Valkyrie Master Set figures and going from there. Dysol is a longtime member of the community and has a channel going through competitive matches and analyzing classic figures in a fun way. I love this one, in which she painstakingly plays a matchup between Karos and the Morrow Warriors, just to prove how they can hit above their weight class when in the hands of a good player. Great stuff. Brian from Heroes and Hexes offers straightforward, no-nonsense reviews of modern HeroScape products. I recommend his videos, especially if you're concerned about potential production defects or want an opinion on value for money. If you fancy yourself a HeroScape painter, then Roguescaper is the channel for you. His painting tutorials are top-notch, and the chill vibes of his channel are completely fitting the subject matter. Just a pleasant viewing and listening experience. I'm sure I'm still missing some out there, but these are the main ones that I frequent on a weekly basis. I think it says something about the expertise and quality present in their combined work that I watch far more HeroScape YouTubers than LEGO YouTubers, despite being interested in both hobbies. Besides, let's face it, any old idiot slug can make videos about LEGO. Thanks for watching, everyone. I've been your host, RR Slugger, and until next time, happy scaping.